As the world witnesses a new era in professional wrestling, there may not be a more pivotal match than the battle for the AEW World Championship title on Saturday, November 9th at Full Gear. For one, it means further proving he is the greatest of all time and is still in the prime of his illustrious career.
I am Chris Jericho, and I am le champion of AEW.
For the other, a symbol of hope for the wrestling world, the weight resting upon Cody's shoulders is immense.
You hear the chants of Cody. He has this connection with the fans that is very rarely seen in pro wrestling.
He has resonated with this crowd, and not just this crowd, but around the world.
With victories over his brother Dustin Rhodes, Shawn Spears, and Sammy Guevara, he's earned his title shot.
Cody, he has pro wrestling in his blood. He is ready to give every single drop of it to these people here tonight.
People have made an emotional investment in Cody, and Jericho's made sure they've made an emotional investment in him.
The reigning AEW World Champion came into the company as their biggest star.
I'm Chris Jericho, and I am all in with All Elite Wrestling!
And he's made it no secret that he's taking the lion's share of the credit for their success.
It's a very exciting time for All Elite Wrestling after selling out Double or Nothing in just 4 minutes. 12,000 tickets sold at the MGM Grand in just 4 minutes. It's unprecedented. And everybody is so excited. Cody and the Bucks are saying, we did it! But is that really the truth, huh? Really? Honestly? Or is the more accurate description, I did it? As in Chris Jericho single-handedly sold 12,000 tickets in 4 minutes, because that is the truth.
Jericho's self-confidence is warranted, however. He has quickly found his place at the top in AEW, and he surrounded himself with a stable of allies that threatened the stability of the company.
No matter who thinks they're in charge around here, we're in charge now.
His inner circle has wreaked havoc at nearly every AEW event, and we will find out if this distraction is all part of Jericho's plan, or if it has only served to fuel Cody's determination to become the next AEW World Champion.
Chris Jericho, what does he mean to professional wrestling? That's a stupid question. Chris Jericho is professional wrestling.
He's been around this industry for over 29 years, and he has been at the top of this industry for a very large portion of that.
The very first person to hold 2 world titles, someone that...
He'd be rocking Austin in the same night.
Someone that you could look at and be like, yo, this is the dude that I want as the face of my company. This is the dude that I want to travel the world carrying the company on his back.
Jericho's got a magnificently enhanced ego, and he likes it that way. He feeds his own skill set by his ego.
Chris Jericho is in this for the long haul, and he's here to prove that he's here for the long haul, that he has the physicality, the intensity, the stamina, and the fortitude to be a force in professional wrestling for years to come.
What a shot by Jericho! That's gotta be it! And it is it! Chris Jericho is the first ever AEW World Champion! Cody on November 9th at Full Gear, when you challenge Le Champion for the AEW Championship, you know what's gonna happen to you? I'm gonna beat the ever-living out of you.
Quite frankly, nobody in wrestling, in any company, has had more of an influence and made more headlines in the last couple of years than Chris Jericho.
We're his legacy.
Yeah.
Where we're directly inspired by the man. We literally bonded over his first book.
Mirrored our careers over what he did and his path to getting to where he's gotten.
He is AEW. This place is nothing without that man. So him being the AEW World Champion just justifies everything he's always said.
As an executive vice president of AEW, as well as one of the company's top performers, some have questioned his ability to prepare for a match against someone like Chris Jericho.
Cody's in a unique spot right now. We've got this great job helping build AEW. Let's not forget he's a wrestler. He's first a wrestler. My point is, it's not Cody's physical abilities, yay or nay, that concern me. None at all. He's an amazing athlete. Maybe the best pure athlete in the entire AEW roster, in the eyes of many, including mine. But I'm worried about his head.
There's not any part of me that's gonna be in the ring that's an EVP. Every part of me is a kid with a chip on his shoulder who probably wanted to beat this guy 10 years ago and thought he could.
My husband, Cody, is the single most passionate person I've ever met. As soon as Cody told me that he was going to challenge Jericho for the title, I knew we were just going to lose him for this period of time.
I know Cody since he was 12 years old. And he was as driven back then as he is right now.
He drove himself athletically, academically, to do the best he could in whatever he was interested in at the time.
He is the face of this company. However, he's not the champion. And I know for a fact that that's something that bothers him because he wants to show to the world that him leaving the other place was not a mistake.
He never saw himself as a mid-card player. He has always seen himself as a top guy. Not only is a top guy, that he can also help carry a promotion. And that's what's happening right now.
He's not just a guy who has a great family legacy and a guy who's an EVP of a major company in pro wrestling. He is a great professional wrestler. He's talented in the ring. And that's why he deserves this title shot, and that's why he's getting it.
It makes it harder when you're somebody's son.
If you just go on athletics and physicality and youth and strength, Cody's your favorite. Father Time doesn't do any favors for anybody. And Father Time is kind of nipping his heels.
Cody's already done so many things that are literally unprecedented in this business. But in the words of the American dream, there's only one thing real in this business, and that's that first World Championship title. Until you get it, there's always something missing, no matter what you've accomplished.
This is literally everything. I can't stress that enough. This means everything to Cody.
Winning that championship belt, it would be the pinnacle of his career.
My advice to Cody is just don't do it. Just give up. It's all said and done. You're not gonna win.
He needs this. This is absolutely everything to him. He won't rest until he beats Chris Jericho.
Team Cody and the Inner Circle are about to square off in the stands here in Pittsburgh. Cody just punches the glass, and man, it's on now. The fight is on now. Rhodes and Jericho. Rhodes and Jericho. The challenger, the champion. Oh, the Inner Circle have just gotten a little taste of revenge. Look at Jericho's face.
When Chris Jericho gets to Baltimore, he has to prepare to wrestle one match. When Cody gets to Baltimore, he's probably already had several meetings leading into the day, probably several meetings that day, while Chris Jericho's thinking about one thing: defending his title and stomping the legacy of the family Rhodes and of Cody specifically.
We are here and we are ready to sign the contract for the AEW World Championship bout between the champion Chris Jericho and the challenger the American Nightmare, Cody.
Is this thing on?
Hager's.
Oh, no! Blow!
What do you know?
No, those arms! No! Oh, God almighty, what the hell else?
On Saturday, November 9th, the AEW World Champion will be crowned in what is sure to be a match for the ages. History will be made.